This game is rated M for mature. Hey there everybody, redxparasite here, and welcome back to Let's Play Bayonetta. In the last episode we started Chapter 3 here, everything's on fire, and in this episode we are going to be continuing and exploring some of the Vigrid Catacombs. So there's a portal here, but it appears to be inactive at the moment. So we're going to try to keep running forward, but falling pillars have other plans, so the bridge is now out, which means we're gonna have to find a different way to get across. Have a short verse here. Just these three enemies. So, and once we defeat them, however, it will activate this portal here. So, we're gonna head inside, and we are in a completely different realm of reality now. Welcome to Paradiso. It's quite nice. So this area is the Garden of Light. There are a number of things that we want to do here that are not our main objective. The first of these is the other half of the Angelic Hymn Gold LP is on this rock. So for putting those two together, we'll get Fantasy Impromptu. But that is not the only thing. So there's this path off here to the right from where you enter, and there's also a path that's kind of off to the left. So we're going to head towards that rock because that one has an Alpine portal on it. So we're going to just, run there slowly. We will be getting access to a faster form of transportation in the somewhat near future, but for now we're just going to have to run it, as slow as that is. So let's see what this one is. Okay, witch time disabled, so I think even though Witch Time is disabled, you will still get the magic meter bonus for dodging an attack, so you'll still get that. Nope, there we go. Finally missed out on there. And these ones where Witch Time disabled really kind of show you how much you can. Wow, that was bad. How much you can really depend on. Witch Time to dispatch enemies quickly. So is that the last one? Yeah. So we did pretty well on the combo score there, but did take 2 hits, so. All in all, not too bad, though. In terms of actual difficulty, it's not that bad. So, we got another Broken Moon Pearl, and we completed another one, so now we're up to 1 full bar and 4. So we're halfway done on our second bar. So now that we've done all that stuff, we are ready to actually get back to regularly scheduled programming. We just have to get there first. And now we're back. So, in order to walk on these spouts of water here, we need to activate Witch Time by using those statues. Timing is pretty lenient on that, so don't worry too much about it. Over here to the right, there is a broken witch heart. just kind of hanging out by the roots of this tree. Yeah, it's a tree. Doesn't, look like it's very alive. But there's also an arcade bullet over here on that platform there as well. So that's an easy one to pick up. So not too hard to get. And that's actually all the optional stuff that we can get here. So we're going to pull on this lever, and it's going to break apart this wall. And so this is our introduction to these hourglass mechanics. So if we want to, we can use it here, and I'll do it just to show it off, even though you don't really have to. But the hourglasses can revert things back in time to how they were before certain events occurred. So in this case, before that wall got destroyed. But we kind of need it for something in the human world, because you remember that bridge broke, and we can actually use this to restore that bridge and get across it before it breaks. So once we leave the portal here, you will not be able to come back to this area. So if you want to get that record or the Alfheim verse or that witch heart, make sure that you get those before you leave this area. You'll be locked out of doing so after you do that. So if we use it here, it will restore the bridge. But we can go forward after this, but there is another Alfheim verse. Once you restore the bridge, it'll be back at the beginning of the catacombs area. So we'll be running back to do that first. And I say run relatively slowly. Even though Bayonetta's really tall, like I'm pretty sure she's at least 6 feet tall. But I don't know if we actually know what we can do. We can't stop in by the gates of hell since we finished that record. We can get that new weapon for doing that.
Another LP? Working me to the bone. But no need to pity me. I was bored anyways. Let me go whip some things into shape for you. It was a close one this time. This bad boy might even be hard for you to get a handle on. Take care of yourself.
So, Kulshedra is a whip item, and as you would expect, you can only use it on your hands. But I'm not particularly that fond of it myself. I will be using it for some of the Alfheim verses because it is particularly useful for some of those. But beyond that, I'm probably not going to end up using it a lot. So here is the portal. So we'll go into that. And I think this is the last one for the verse. I said verse, I meant chapter. Nope, okay, so using Wicked Weaves. So this is where I'm actually... This is where the sword is actually particularly useful. Because its Wicked Weave is good at hitting multiple enemies, as you can see there. So what I recommend for these ones where you're only allowed to use Wicked Weaves is just use the punch, kick, punch attack. The thing you gotta be wary of is just making sure that you're not too close to the enemies when you do it, because otherwise you'll run into them and that's not a fun time. You will take damage and it'll make your life So yeah, just keep doing that together so I can keep damaging both of you. I'm gonna go after this one since it has less health. Once I get one of them off the field, my life will be a little bit easier. No, okay, I didn't actually get damaged by these guys at least. So I did kick him, but then he didn't. Ah, dang it. It's like one thing. Okay, maybe two. Really? You were just being a grade A jerk. That was close to being perfect, and then it just kind of all slipped away. So you get a broken witch heart for this. And now that we've gotten that, we will be on our way. Alright. So now we can finally go forward. I know it seems like it's probably been forever since we actually made some progress, but we're finally getting there. Okay, so there's going to be another verse here on this bridge. I'm going to recommend using gun weapons for this, because you have some enemies that are kind of off in the distance. Okay, these should be the last ones, I think. And don't worry about, you know, oh. Don't worry about taking your time on the bridge. It won't actually be destroyed again until after you run across. So, as with the other things, once you run across the bridge, you can't go backwards. At least until you get a certain ability. So, would not recommend doing that until you're absolutely ready. But there's nothing left for us to do on the other side, so just keep moving forward. So in this section, just keep running. The bridge will be collapsing here, and are we screwed? We might be screwed. Yep, and that's a death. So, what she's saying there is the shadow remains cast. I could not hear exactly what she was saying at the end there for the longest time. But, yeah, that kind of highlights one of the problems I do have with some of the things in this game in terms of really easy to die really quickly, and it's just not a good time. So, once you get on this one, you'll get a prompt to jump off. Once you get to that point, you're good, but still, a lot of really unnecessary deaths. Ah! So the timing on these is a bit finicky. It can be hard to tell when they're actually coming, even though they, you know, jump out of the magma there. It's just not the best time. So, before you head forward, there is a chest over here to the left. And it has a broken witch heart in it, so definitely worth picking up. It's not too far out of the way. And we'll just, you know, run down this tunnel, because that's the only way that we can go. So there's the moon, so we can do our witch walk here and walk up this shaft. There are going to be some boulders raining down. You can dodge through them if they are going to hit you. And other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so chapter's almost over, but here to the left is one last chest, and it contains another Broken Witch Heart. And that will actually get us one more complete Witch Heart. I think we're getting close to having our first full bar of health. There are two bars of health total. So there's also a note here on the steps, the old Colosseum. In Vigrid's long, protracted history, there was once an enormous Colosseum built facing the sea. It remains today largely intact. According to the record, the Colosseum was not used for martial contests or other games, but as an altar to the worship of one of the era's gods, a being known as Fortitudo. Even today, as the Umbran functions of the city move to Isla del Sol, the Colosseum holds a special place in the religious beliefs of those who worship the Laguna. Even though the winds of time have long since destroyed the road leading to the structure, forcing a treacherous passage through the cliffs, the stream of those making a pilgrimage to the Colosseum is endless. So, that is the last collectible for this chapter. You can look at the city over there. Doesn't look like the flames will be dissipating anytime soon. But we are going to be headed towards the Colosseum. I want to say that there is an Umbran crow somewhere along here. Yep, there it is in the middle of the path. But this will be the end of this chapter. We're just going to run off into the Colosseum. It was actually a pretty long chapter, all things considered. I think it's a total of 13 verses. Now that's a lot of stuff. That one death is going to knock down our rank, so I think could have gotten a platinum overall for the stage there, but didn't because of that, which is a bit of a bummer. We do have a fair amount of bullets this time, so let's see what I can do with them. Oops, you got in my way. Okay, where are you guys? It's like, oh, I want more of you to spawn in because you guys are worth more points. So 108 points for that many bullets is a pretty good score. So one thing that I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but there is one reason if you want to buy things from this minigame instead of getting them from Rodon's shop. Even though they're cheaper in Rodon's shop, if you want to get extras of things, there's no limit to the number of items that you can get from this minigame. So in his shop, for example, you can only buy one of these red hot shots, but you can get another one from this game if you want to have more than one in your inventory at any given time. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get the halos from it. But that is an option if you want to get things from the minigame that you couldn't otherwise get more of. So before I end the episode here, I am going to stop in at the Gates of Hell, because we have a decent amount of halos, so we can buy some things.
You want to touch me?
You here for business or pleasure? Either way, I'll hook you up.
Okay, so we have about 46,000 halos. So we could get some of these techniques here. Let's see. So these two are useful. They allow you to summon Wicked Weaves really quickly if you have the magic for it, but I think for the time being, I want to get just more health for now. So okay, was the end of the first health bar there. So that's all we're going to be able to afford, I think, for now. But on the plus side, we do have a boss coming up, and you get quite a few halos from beating bosses. So we'll be doing that in the next episode, however. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Bayonetta. I've been redxparasite, signing out.